Nick Palmer, music director and conductor of the North Charleston Pops, and we're here for Happy Hour with the Maestro on location at Chucktown Acres. Before we begin, I want to thank our sponsors, the Boeing Company, Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation, and the South Carolina Arts Commission. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our very special guest, our good friend Alex Russell, to tell us a little bit about our first destination, and that is to visit these beautiful chickens.
Yeah, right. So we're in one of our fields here, and our laying hens are out here. This is their big mobile coop that they sleep in at night and have all their food and water inside. This coop, we move it every single morning to a new spot. We use the tractor, and we've got a big logging chain on the front. We just hook it up, move it one space forward each morning, and that way the ladies are always on fresh ground. And you can see they're out here free ranging. They're pretty excited, and they love it out here.
They like the mule a lot, don't they?
Yeah, any kind of structure. Even if it's like a little side-by-side, they love structure because it reminds them of being in trees and being safe from predators. If they can get up high on anything, they love being up on something. It makes them feel comfortable and safe.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you have different color eggs with the different chickens, right?
Yes.
White, brown, and green. Are those the three?
Yeah, we also have the blue eggs too.
Oh, the blue. That's right.
Yeah. So two different breeds lay the brown eggs, and then we've got a green layer, a blue layer, and a white layer as well. And so they all are out here kind of congregating with each other, and the nest boxes are inside. They'll go, whenever they get the urge to go lay an egg, they'll run inside, sit down, and push out the egg, and then they come back out here and eat and scratch and find bugs and stuff.
It's great that they have so much land to roam around in too.
Yeah, they need it. They definitely are animals that want a lot of space. So this is one of the main things that drove people to start raising chickens outdoors again. Back in the Industrial Revolution, when all the animals went inside, they started getting sick. You could tell their demeanor was down, and what we realized is that chickens they want to roam. Their ancestors were tree-dwelling animals that would come down, scratch for a little while, go back up in a tree. They would migrate. They want space. So they're super unhappy when they're indoors, crammed in, like most of your grocery store eggs are gonna be. They're from chickens that were just crammed into a house as tight as they could be without killing each other. And so they realized, the people who taught me how to raise animals, we realized, like, you're gonna have a better egg and a happier chicken and a more nutritious product if you put your chickens outdoors. The hard parts are you deal with predation. You got to have some kind of structure that's able to move all the time. So it's definitely not the easy way to do this, but we believe that the chicken is worth it, that their quality of life and the product that they're going to produce when they're happy with their environment and they're safe is totally worth what the work that goes into what we do even every morning. I mean, Monday through Sunday, we're out here feeding them, watering, moving the house. So it's a lot of work, but it's something that we believe in really strongly.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Woo!
So this is their house. We've got them, their playground pretty much. Birds love to climb on things and be up high. So if you were to come out here at night, they'd be all up that ladder and then all on the rafters up here, because it's part of their DNA, their safety mechanism at night.
Is that the roosting?
Yeah, that's the roosting. So they want to get up high so that coyotes and different land predators couldn't get to them.
Right.
So they don't need it when they're in something like this, but they like it, and you can tell they're not talking as as much because when they're happy, they're quiet.
Right.
So
now, what are some of the different breeds that you have? Because I noticed you have several.
We got 6 different breeds. Let me see if I can get this. This girl is a Barred Rock.
Oh yeah.
She's like the classic, super hardy. She can be in Minnesota or Florida and doesn't care about the temperature, weather. She could be in a foot of snow and be happy.
Yeah.
Like she's super tough. So we have a lot of Barred Rocks out here. And then we've got Golden Comets. Those are our 2 like main brown egg layers.
Right.
And then we have Americanas, which are the black, white, and even like this one right here with that brown, the really fancy looking one.
Right.
She's an Americana too. Like their color scheme is pretty wild. The brown and tannish golden one with the big comb. Yeah. That's called a brown leghorn.
Oh yeah.
They're always real small. They lay the white egg. Like foghorn leghorn. Yeah. You know. So
a cartoon thing.
Yes. Yeah. Their distant cousin, the white leghorn, is the one that they raise in the factories.
Okay.
Because they lay the white eggs. And the reason that's so popular in like the super cheap egg world is because it's the only chicken that won't commit suicide in a cage. So they did back in the Industrial Revolution.
No idea.
When all the agriculture went from outside based to indoor based, they tested all the different kinds of animals out there, and they would all kill themselves in a cage, except for the white leghorn. So that's why in the super cheap egg world, you'll see that they're all white. Wow. That's the reason. It's because the white leghorn lays a white egg.
That's great chicken trivia. Now, I know people are going to ask this question too. What is the style of raising that you do? In other words, like when you go into a supermarket, you see cage-free or free roam or free range and all that. What is this? This looks like...
This is different. We consider this to be regenerative agriculture, which you're not going to see on a label in the grocery store. Unless it's a really small grocery store that supports a small local farm. But when you raise your chickens outdoors and you move them every single day to a new spot, that's considered regenerative because what you're doing is you're making your pasture better every day instead of diminishing your pasture and making it worse, like most agriculture today actually makes things worse. Where the ladies, they kind of scratch through, sanitize, eat bugs, and also fertilize through their manure, and then they leave that spot and let the land rest and recover, and it comes back stronger every year because we're actually putting more nutrients into the pasture than we're taking. So that's what makes regenerative different from sustainable, from conventional, from anything you're going to find in a grocery store. That is actually making the soil, the earth, the pasture, the grass, it's all getting better and better the longer you do it.
And that helps the other animals too, like the cows.
Yeah, because we actually bring the cows in here to graze the same spot where the chickens were. The cows are doing the same thing. They move every day to a new spot as well. So they're doing the same thing. They're eating the grass, they're fertilizing, and then they're moving away, and the land is left to rest and recover until the next time.
And how do you handle the roosters?
We cooked, or we butchered most of the roosters.
Okay.
And actually people buy them on our website. So they're not very good for an egg operation. Right. So we took most of them and we raised them till about 14 weeks. Yep. That's kind of their peak growth. And we butchered them along with some of our broilers, and then we sell those a little bit cheaper than your broilers, which are your meat chickens. Right. So the meat chickens, they were raised in the same house, the same style house as this one, and we moved them every day as well. They're here in the spring and summer.
And are they different breeds, the meat chickens and the egg chickens?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good question. There's a special breed called a Cornish Cross, which is not like genetically modified, but genetically selected from probably the past 100 years. They've been selecting birds that get big fast. And the one that's kind of the top of them all is called the Cornish Cross. It's a little white bird with a red comb, and they can get up to butcher size in 8 weeks.
Oh wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
That's really quick.
Yeah, even in a system like this, where they're outdoors, they're not pumped full of medications or steroids or anything like that, they're still able to get to a really good size in 8 weeks. And that's just been through genetic selecting. It's not anything that they had to do in a lab to get like that.
Yeah.
Most of your broilers in your industrial system that are getting pumped with steroids and medications and stuff like that, they're ready in 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I have to feed my chickens for 2 extra weeks, which isn't that big of a deal.
No, I know, and you're getting 1,000% better product.
Yeah.
Can I pick one of them up?
Yeah, if they'll let you.
I don't know if they will.
You grab them by both wings. Yep. There you go.
Oh, what a cutie.
Yeah, you have
She's
chickens,
sweet.
so you know how to do it.
Yeah. Chickens are very sweet, and they're, I mean, people don't think that they have emotions, but they do.
Yeah,
They're
they
just the
absolutely
most-
have emotions.
They're so adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, girl, you get to go back down. There you go.
Yeah.
I love chickens. Well, we're gonna meet some more animals right now.
They're right at 20 months now.
20 months?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When we got them, we bought them when they were 18 months. And so that was pretty recently. And they'll go till about 24 to 30 months.
Okay.
When you process them.
Right. And what weights do they get to when you process them?
This breed will get up to about 1,200 pounds.
Okay.
Right now, most of them are right at 1,000. There's one big boy, I think, the black one right there with the orange tag. He's about 1,100 pounds now. He's a big boy.
So how many bulls are
no bulls.
Okay, so
they're just
castrated.
steers.
Steers, yeah.
Yep. So they're castrated males, and they're usually what you raise for meat production.
Yeah, I would guess. Yeah.
Yep. So we do want to get a mama herd going and start having our own calves, and probably a bull that comes and goes with us.
Right.
But the easiest way to get into the beef game is to buy steers and make sure you're producing a product that people like.
Right.
And then if that's going well and beef sells well, then you can feel comfortable getting a mama herd going and starting to breed your own.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So this breed is called a red poll. They are a three-way mix of Hereford, Red Angus, and Jersey.
Okay.
I really like the Jersey bit in them because if you think about Jersey cows, they're super comfortable with people. They're used to being worked every day. It's actually started to work into their genetics so that these guys, they'll come up close to you if you hang around long enough. And there's actually this one with the white forehead, he'll let me pet him sometimes.
Oh, really?
Which I've never ever had a beef cow be willing to let me pet him before.
Nice.
Even though I'm kind of a calm demeanor person,
Yeah.
it's really rare that a beef cow will let you get close. Jerseys will absolutely, you can pet them and hug them and snuggle them all you want.
Do they kind of read your energy a little bit? Because I know cows and horses especially do that, where they'll kind of know if you're a safe person.
Yeah, or if you're really afraid.
Yeah.
Horses seem to be a lot more like intuitive like that.
Yeah.
But I've definitely found cattle will almost mimic your mood.
Right.
So if you're anxious or jumpy, it makes them anxious.
Right.
So if you're calm, quiet, and you just kind of like either just have a quiet conversation, or you will either talk to them if you want to, they'll start to kind of congregate because they're curious. They're always curious. They want to stick their head in every hole and scratch every post on the fence just to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So when something new happens, like people just stand out here and are talking,
Right.
they're pretty interested.
I bet they're pretty playful too, because they are kids.
Yeah,
This
yeah, they
age.
are. When we move them from one field to the next, I always try to take a video of it because they start leaping and kicking their back legs and running all over the place because they love new and exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 6. He's our big boy.
He is a big boy.
He's probably one of the most curious ones.
Yeah.
And he's super gentle, safe to be around. Yeah, 8-10.
He's coming up too.
Yeah, he's a friend too.
Well, I gotta say, I did get some of your meat, and I made the most spectacular meatloaf I think anyone's ever consumed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And then I had some stew beef, and I made some Boeuf Bourguignon, bottle wine.
Fancy.
Again, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
That's really nice.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, we really enjoy it too. We actually like food that tastes like something.
Yeah, I guess the other question that I didn't ask was about the calving, the time of year that you're raising, and what is normally the cycle. I know you mentioned how many months and all that, but how does that usually work?
Yeah, you definitely want to plan out your calving season, and I will put in the caveat that we're not having any calves here this year. But from what I understand, you want to get your calves in the fall, in coastal areas where you're going to have a really mild winter, and then the summer's really intense. So you want to get that calf grown up as much as you can before the summer really smacks them with some pressure.
Right.
So some people, the winters are too intense. Like even Virginia, where I did my training, we calved in the spring because the winters were too harsh for little calves. But here it's a little bit of the opposite. We've got such mild winters. I mean, we're in the middle of January.
Yeah, I know. It's
and
pretty
we're
crazy.
in t-shirts. So it's nice out here. It's really nice to calve cattle in the fall and let them get grown up for a while. They're playful too.
Yes, oh yeah.
You'll see them either button heads or jumping on top of each other. They don't have a lot of ways to wrestle, so it's like you can either jump on your buddy or you can bump him in the head.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But that made me laugh.
So I'm really fascinated about the pigs that are living in the forest, and you're going to tell us exactly why that's so important to their to their livelihood and all of that when we get out there. So let's go visit some pigs.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey. Commercially collect oysters right now. Okay. So this is the pig area. They've got 3 acres here, and we've got 2 different things going on in this fenced-in area. One, we have the pregnant sows are here in a little area secluded from the rest of the herd, and then we've got the big group of pigs, about 20 of them, are in a paddock. So instead of giving them this whole 3 acres, what we decided was we still want to move them too. So we're going to raise them in a regenerative way too. So they're having impact on the ground, they're eating up vegetation, they're fertilizing, and then they're getting off and giving it rest. If you were to just leave them to this whole thing, it would be just desolate all over. There'd be no young growth that could come up because they would eat it before it could mature. So what we want to do is we want to give the land time to grow good forage, mature, seed out, and then bring the pigs in, and they'll trample stuff. They'll eat the seeds on the grasses and the plants, and they'll spread all the seeds over, and then we'll pull them off again and let that land rest again. So it's a rotation that, again, takes a lot more work than just throwing them in there and letting them have a ball. But we're actually going to turn this super crowded, kind of clustered forest area into like a pristine park-like zone where we're having all this grass come up through the middle. So we just put them in here this winter, so there was no grass to start with. And what you're gonna see over the next couple years is that as we work our rotation around and around and around, that they're gonna be digging up old grass seeds that could be thousands of years old that have been in the seed bank in the ground until now. When a pig comes and lifts up that dirt, the seed gets exposed to sunlight and grows.
Right.
So they're gonna be digging a lot, especially with the breed that we have. It's a Berkshire, it's a heritage breed. They love to forage and they love to root around, and you'll see a lot of roots exposed from where they've worked. You don't want to do it in an open pasture where you're gonna have cows walking through, chickens walking through, people coming through a lot where someone might fall in like a hole, because they'll dig and make some pretty big ruts. So the forests are nice. It's where wild pigs live anyway, so it's their native habitat to be in the woods. Let's go see the mamas, and then we'll go see the rest of the little guys too.
Oh, great. They're cute.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so adorable. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
So this is hot. Like,
all right,
real
okay.
hot.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
So we've got 2 pregnant mamas here. They are due at the end of February, and so we're hoping to have a pretty good litter of, 20 piglets or so coming in late February, which will be great timing because it'll start to warm up, and they love a back scratch.
These are Berkshire pigs. That's a nice girl. Yes, that's a really nice girl. Yes, oh yes, what a good girl. Did they like maybe 200 pounds, something like that, or more?
These girls are about 325
They are,
right now.
okay, they're pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pigs are just so dense.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I know.
it's like every pound of muscle they've got is just packed. So
Oh yeah.
they're super strong.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
if you got in here when they had their piglets
Yeah.
and you started messing with their piglets,
Yeah.
they would
not be good.
yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to run out of here if
Yeah.
you wanted to live.
Yeah,
So
right.
they're super, super strong. And when they're pregnant, they're a little hormonal, but once they have their piglets, they get pretty wild.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of build a relationship with them at the beginning, so they know you. Like, yep, you're the guy who brings the food. You're cool. So I probably wouldn't let anyone else come in here once the piglets come.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right now, they're pretty relaxed. But when they were with the group, you could tell they were edgy. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't want anyone else eating at the feeder or anything. So that's why they're separate from the other group, because they just start to get testy.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
unfriendly. So
Yeah.
you separate them. We still move them every week. So they were over here last week, and you see what they did here, and now they're right here. They've been in here for 4 days now. So about 3 or 4 more days, and they should have this area pretty well tilled up, good to go, and we'll just keep sliding them around.
And you need to have the water that has the electrical unit in there to keep them from freezing. Is that what that's for?
No, this is actually a float valve.
Oh, okay.
So this, if I turn it on in the morning, and kind of go do my chores, it fills up the tank but doesn't overflow. So it doesn't make a huge mess. You can see, like, right around here it's pretty dry. So that's just a float valve that hooks up to the garden hose, so I can turn it on and not worry about it spilling over like crazy.
I've got a Vietnamese Pot Belly Pig. It's a lot smaller than these guys. She's about 130 pounds, but she just keeps knocking her bowl over. She's old, so she gets fed Gatorade.
Oh wow!
She can't handle anything. You know, she needs Gatorade.
She needs the electrolytes.
Oh yeah, she does. And the other thing is, they get very attached to whoever feeds them.
Yes.
So like whenever I'm there, she's just really excited. But when my wife feeds her, she doesn't even want to get up.
Oh wow!
Because she doesn't think that Dorothy's the feeder. And now she's trying to knock the bowl
she's
over.
like,
Yeah, she says, I'm over this.
Yeah. She's like, I want to play.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
But you can see with no effort at all what she just did. Like, if you or I had to get in here with our bare hands,
Yeah.
We couldn't pull all this stuff
No, that's
up.
amazing.
In her, it's just a flick of the nose. She could pull all this stuff up. So she just uncovered what was then buried by like 3 inches of pine duff and exposed
It
all
would be hard
this.
if you do that with a shovel.
Yeah, I mean, she exposed all this soil that's actually got little tiny grass seeds in it.
Uh-huh.
So this is a microscopic view of what they do overall when you manage them in an area.
Oh, yeah.
Is they're going to expose this to sunlight now. There's little grass seeds in here, and there's going to be grass growing up through this one spot.
Oh,
right
yeah,
here.
okay. Cool.
And then you just need to give it time and rest for the grass to be able to mature enough for the pigs to come back.
Wow, that's crazy. So, you got the sows over here. And
Yep.
These are
all what we call feeders. So it's a mixture of females and males, and they are for pork production. And so they will either be kept. So we might keep some of the females for breeding if we like their kind of body type and their genetics. But most of these will be raised till about 8 months old and then processed. And I bet you half of them are taking a nap right now.
Oh, yeah?
In the back.
Do they take a nap at any particular time?
It seems like every hour or something.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
you come out here, if you don't wake them up with a loud machine and you can come out here quietly, they're probably gonna be sleeping.
Yeah.
They sleep all the time. They're pretty nocturnal too, so
Oh, yeah.
they're up at night a lot.
Are they pretty friendly?
Yes,
Friendly?
they are.
Yeah.
They are. They're a little skittish. Like, they're a little more skittish than the mamas, but the longer you stay, the more they'll be interested in your shoes or your pants. You might be able to give them a little, a little gentle scratch.
Oh, gosh.
Or they kind of like, eh. They're not mean by
It's okay. It's okay.
any means.
Come on.
But these guys are all about 4 months now.
Uh-huh.
So they've got about 4 more months to go before they go to the processor. But it's really cool because we get 2 benefits, not only the main one being really delicious pork, but also we get really good forest management. So all of this pine, what I call pine duff, it's basically a big buildup of pine, is stuff that's highly flammable. So you could have a pretty bad forest fire in here if you don't have someone kind of coming in here and mixing the pine with soil.
Right.
So that's what they do. All over this area, you'll see the pine needles are like getting mixed in with the soil. Like over here. This is a really good example. So now, the pine needles don't break down super fast if they're just left on top. But
Sure.
as soon as you get them mixed in, and you get a lot more kind of soil microbiology going on here, these pine needles now mixed in with the soil are going to break down way faster, which means that we're going to have better topsoil to grow something in right here. See, now they're real curious. Yeah.
But you've never been so close to pigs since you were in Kansas, probably.
It's so many pigs too.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
So,
I just love them.
So yeah, they've got 2 benefits. We're healing our land with how we're raising them, but also we're getting this really awesome, delicious product at the same time, and honoring the pig in the way that they want to live, the way they want to sleep, the way they want to roam. They want to be in the woods. They want tons of space to be able to move around and dig in the soil and play and like mess around with pine trees. Like, this is a pig's heaven, you know? This is their favorite spot. I don't think I could like manufacture a better place to raise pigs. What happened is that the pork industry decided a ways, back when our grandparents were our age, they decided it'd be way easier to raise pigs indoors because you don't have to move them around. You don't have to, load the tractor up with feed in the morning. Like, you can just have them indoors and it's really low labor. Well, the problem is the pigs suffer in a way that actually ends up affecting the product. And that's double bad. Like, you want happy animals, you want content animals, and you want a delicious product at the same time. So now if you go to get grocery store pork, it's not gonna taste like anything, because they're not eating bugs, they're not eating roots, they're not eating leaves or grass. They're just fed grains, like just pure grains that come in on a conveyor belt. And if you were to see the conditions that these pork factories grow their pigs in, you'd be appalled. It's disgusting.
I'm sure.
They live on wooden slats their whole lives, or concrete, and their hooves are basically whittled away to nothing. Their tails are usually trimmed, like cut when they're first born. A lot of the growers put the rings in their nose so that they can't mess with anything with their nose, and they're crammed like crazy. I mean, they're pretty much living their entire life like those two pigs are right now.
Yeah, right.
With thousands of pigs. And it's so appalling that actually the state of South Carolina made it illegal to factory raise pigs.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool, but they ended up all just moving to North Carolina. So now North Carolina is overrun with these pig factories that smell terrible, they look terrible, they ruin waterways, they ruin neighborhoods and communities. And the amazing thing is, if you're out here, you take a big whiff, you can't smell anything.
No.
You can maybe smell the trees.
Yeah, really.
Like, these pigs don't have to stink.
Right.
Farms don't have to stink.
Yeah.
And the way you manage, I mean, we were in a chicken house today, we're out with cows,
Right.
we're out with pigs. Never once did any of us notice there's like a really terrible odor in here,
No, not
or
at all.
anything like that.
Yeah.
If you go to any factory farm, you're gonna be appalled at the smell. Most of the chicken houses and pork houses that you go into, you can't even go in there without a like a respirator
Yeah.
on,
Oh, yeah.
because the ammonia that's in the air is so intense it'll make you sick.
Yeah.
So just think about that. How sick are these animals being raised in that environment, breathing that air 24/7?
And like you said, they're content. They're obviously having a great time.
Yeah.
They love being out here. They get to play with all this fun stuff. They get a diet that
Yeah.
is so varied because you have so many different things for them to eat. The seeds and the pine and the
Roots,
vegetation.
bugs.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yep.
obviously they enjoy that. And just to be able to dig and play
Yeah.
in this environment, they obviously are having fun.
Yeah. One thing I will say about grocery store pork is, one warning I always give people is, if they can say that their pork is non-vegetarian, or if their pork is vegetarian fed, you know you want to stay away from that, because that means they have been able to like keep the pigs away from any other wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
That means they're raised indoors in a controlled environment, or like if a pig saw a mouse running right now, it would absolutely go and chase and eat it.
Yeah.
So I am proud of the fact that my pigs are non-vegetarians, because
right.
pigs are omnivores.
Right.
They want plants. I mean, that guy's chewing on a big old thing of pine needles right now. But if you saw a ground squirrel or a mouse or a snake or something, or I mean, they love bugs too. So pigs are omnivores. They're made to eat animals, and then they're also love to eat forage, roots, and all that too. So I always put that in for the chickens and the pigs, because they're both omnivores, and I always consider it to be animal abuse to raise a chicken or a pig with vegetarian fed.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
they were made to eat non-vegetarian, if that makes sense.
Right, but
Yeah.
you know, the consumer would probably, without knowing that, would think that's a good thing.
Yes, yeah. What it comes out to mean is that, hey, we're restricting these animals from doing what they were meant to do all
Yeah,
along.
absolutely.
And they were meant to come out here and eat bugs and stuff. So,
Oh,
Well,
they're having a great time. You
Yeah.
can tell. They are very, very happy and content playing and rooting around, and oh my gosh. And it's just amazing to see how they dig.
Yeah.
And how far down they can dig and how strong they are with
Yeah.
their nose.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just crazy.
It's a shame that California and Oregon and all those folks that are having forest fires haven't figured this out yet. Because when they're digging like this, and you mix so much soil into all this dry, dead material, if you've ever tried to burn something that has dirt on it, it's incredibly difficult. So if people were practicing this out in California, Oregon, and all those western states where they're having forest fires, this wouldn't be as big of a problem.
Well,
So-
this has been fascinating, and the pigs are adorable.
Great. Yeah, I love them. Yeah, we'll go show you the barn, show you our event space, and where we have all our farm dinners and parties and stuff out at the main part of the farm.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this is the event house here. We are partnered with Salty Oak Farm, who owns the property, and they host a lot of events, weddings, parties, corporate dinners, private dinners. Literally anything you want to do in this house, they'll rent it out to you. It's gorgeous inside. And the section over to the left of that porch is screened in. If bugs get bad, so you can get over there. We love this porch. It's nice and open and big. We had a great fried chicken dinner out here back in November. And you can host a lot of people. I think the house sleeps 20 if you want to. They do overnight stays as well if you want to do that with your party or your wedding or whatever. So I always want to put in a plug for Salty Oak Farm because they do a great job here with the venue space.
So one of the reasons we're here is to talk about, the fact that it's the new year, and we're in January, and everybody's got all kinds of resolutions, and a lot of people are talking about eating better, eating cleaner, eating better food.
Yeah.
And we've talked today about all the wonderful things that you do to keep these animals in their best condition for their own welfare, but also to keep the product that you're grooming as healthy and as flavorful as possible. But tell us a little bit about your how that plays into what you do here, and about healthy eating.
It's actually my beginning reason for why I wanted to start farming was because I learned about the correlation between what you eat and your health. Growing up, that was nothing. We never talked about that. Like, it wasn't a topic. It was always like, buy the cheapest food you can. Buy the TV dinners and noodles in a bag, and just get by as cheap as possible. But we found out that people are getting so sick and have so many autoimmune diseases, diabetes issues, and tons of health-related diseases and problems that we're now finding out are based off of what you eat, what you put in your body. So that was something that shocked me, and then I learned about how animals were being raised, and that was enough for me to decide, like, I think I have to do something about this. So the way we raise the animals is not just for the animals' benefit, but from the testing that we've seen, the studies that are done, the way that we raise each set of animals is the way to produce the highest, most nutrient-dense quality calorie that you can produce. So that's why we choose organic soy-free feed for the chickens, and we do grass-fed beef for the cows, and we do the organic feed for the turkeys as well, and that's why we raise the pigs in the woods, because the research we've done, the testing we've done, we've found that the most nutritious way to get a pork chop, a chicken breast, grass-fed ribeye is to do it and manage the animals the way we're managing them. So when people ask me, what can I do to make myself healthier, to feed my body nutritious food, like, what are some easy things that I could do that would benefit my health. The biggest thing, besides cutting out corn syrup and sugar out of your diet, has to be animals, like bringing in animals that were raised well and from a local farm and raised in your area and farmed in a way that you can be proud of when you cook that food at home. You can be proud of how you acquired that meat and how it was raised, how it was processed, how it got to your table. Because the more we learn about factory farming, the more we see how detrimental it is, not only to the planet and to the animals, but also to ourselves.
Yep. Very well said. And you know, it's just one of those things that we in this country are now starting to learn about. You know, when you go to places like Europe, you know, Italy, for example, they talk about, you know, the whole locavore thing. It's not just that you have really beautifully raised animals and meat and all that, but it's you buy locally from someone who grew the product here.
Yes.
And that's a huge part of it as well. You know, even if something's organic, but if it came from, you know, California, it's been in a truck.
Yeah.
Whereas yours is right here.
Right.
So how do people purchase this wonderful stuff?
So we created a website that we tried to make the most frictionless way to buy meat on a website possible. So it's not easy, but you know, 2 or 3 clicks and you can get meat off of our website. So you go to chucktownacres.com, and during the winter time we have 2 options. You can get home delivery, which is awesome, or you can come and get it at the farm. So we've just been asking people to go ahead and order online, and you'll see everything on there. Lucy,
is this your daughter? Oh, hi.
Hey, what are you doing?
She's a star, you can tell.
She wants to be on camera. Oh, come here, baby. We're almost done. This is Lucia.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
The princess.
Hi, are you a princess? I could tell. Yeah, I could tell. I like those boots. Those are really cute.
What's on your boots?
It's butterfly.
Yes, right.
They are.
Nice job,
That's
baby.
Great.
Who's on your dress?
It's
Anna and Elsa, our favorite princesses.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't have anything on your body without it being Anna and Elsa.
Oh, that's great.
All right, you ready to go see mommy? Okay.
No.
You want to stay here? You want to go run? Okay, go run.
Well, that was a nice little interlude.
Okay, go run. Go. All right, sorry. Where should we go next?
Nice little clarify delivery. That's in this area, right?
Yes.
In other words, you have to live in Clowenville, Pleasant.
Yeah. So our rule for home delivery is east of the Cooper.
Okay.
So Mount Pleasant, Daniel Island, IOP, and Sullivan, so you can get home delivery. If you're out of those zones, you can either text me and we can work something out, or you'll just come to the farm. Just come on one afternoon, see the animals, hang out, and then buy some meat while you're here. If you also could pre-order it. So if you wanted to go online and pick whatever you want, you can come and I'll have your name with a little bag on it, and you'll be ready to go, paid and ready to go. So yeah, thanks for clarifying. Right now we can only go so far because we're so busy here on the farm. But we wanted to be able to get people our food, and so we did open up some delivery options to make it easier for folks. The other way you can get our stuff is at the Mount Pleasant Farmers Market when it's open. So it's open from April to October, and then it's closed for the rest of the season. So right now you couldn't get anything from there, but starting in the spring, summer, and fall, you can definitely get stuff from us there. And we've had an awesome reception there. People love what we're doing. They're pumped. They love regenerative agriculture, and so we love that market. Can't wait to be back there.
And you know, I think I would recommend for people just to come out here. Just because it's a beautiful drive, and then when you're here, you can see all of this effort and time and everything that goes into the way the animals are raised. I mean, you can see the chickens roaming, and you can see how their habitat is moved every day, and you can see the incredible amount of pasture grazing that the cows have.
Yeah, it seems like people get really inspired when they're out here.
Yeah.
And that always excites me as the guy who's growing the food, to see people get inspired about what we're doing and to receive it with excitement and enthusiasm and want to buy stuff. That really helps me, because I'm out here every day, putting in the work every morning, and every afternoon we do chores as well, and then we acquire the animals, we raise them, we do all this work. It's really great to see when people come out here and get to see the animals they light up, because a lot of people don't get to see animals in their daily life. So when they do, it brings so much joy to them that it brings joy to me too, to be able to be the person to facilitate that. I love it. Yeah.
Well, in speaking about bringing joy to people, that's one of the things that we do, we hope, and we will be doing very soon. But you are also, speaking of bringing joy, you were a musician, or maybe you still are. I know you're a drummer.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience as a drummer. And how that all worked.
I've always been kind of a rock and roll drummer. Always played by ear, and have never been in any kind of formal orchestra or anything like that. But I do still play, and I've been playing since I was a kid, and I love it. I actually tried to play an orchestra one time but couldn't read sheet music, and I was there for about 10 minutes at the practice before I packed up, and I said I do not belong here. So that was a funny story, and I just thought I could make it happen without practicing, without knowing how to read sheet music or anything, and I never tried again.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I get it.
Maybe next time I'll learn how to read music first, and then figure that out. But I love getting to connect with musicians and people who know music. There's always a beautiful connection, something that we share, and so I appreciate you too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll have to get you and your family out to one of our concerts.
Yes, absolutely. We love live music of all types.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. Well, we've got
awesome.
a great one for families. March 13th, John Williams and Beyond. So it's going to have a lot of music from Star Wars and Harry Potter and Lincoln and all movies like that. So great variety and a lot of things that kids would recognize, but just fun music. You know? And it's a time where we can finally get back in the concert hall, socially distanced, and hear some music, because we're all dying. We're all hurting for that. Hurting. Yeah. That's the correct word. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. That's absolutely the word we want to use. Yeah. Right.
So we also are doing You Pick strawberries this year. So we planted 4,000 strawberry plants, and they'll be ready at the end of February. So people can come out here, bring your family, and we've got all the strawberries back here. So we'll be able to plan it out so that families can come together and they can pick strawberries and have a good time. This whole farm used to be a strawberry farm, and so we do the strawberries as a little honorarium to the previous owners, and they've created a soil that's perfect for strawberries. So we grow some pretty amazing strawberries out here, so keep that in mind this spring. If you love strawberries, you love picking them, then come out here to Chucktown Acres, and we'll put all that information on our social media so people know when to come out and when to pick a time slot and all the details that come with that. If you say the O word, if you say organic, you can get in trouble with the USDA because you're not under their certification, because they've actually purchased the rights to the word. So we say the strawberries are no spray. It's just dirt and water and a little bit of fertilizer. And you can eat them right off the plant.
And it's natural fertilizer too, right?
Yeah. Okay. We use a compost to fertilize, and we mix it with some seaweed, this awesome seaweed-based fertilizer, and so these plants are the healthiest plants you can get. And you could come out here and eat the strawberries right off the vine if you wanted to.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Alex Russell, and for all you do here at Chucktown Acres.
Yeah.
And also, again, I want to thank our sponsors, the Boeing Company, the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation, the South Carolina Arts Commission, and our fabulous videographer, the one and only Tacy Edwards. Behind the camera today, thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon on Happy Hour with the Maestro.